had a good weekend. Happy Monday. Looking forward to this week. Hopefully, we get some nice opportunities to make some money this week, to find some trades and see what we can do. So let's get right into it. Okay, so over the weekend there was the resignation of the Japanese Prime Minister Ishida, right? And that caused the gap down on the yen and gap up on the yen pairs this morning. So we'll get into that, but first, as we usually do, let's start with Euro USD. As you can see it already on my screen. So let's start with Euro USD and then we move from there into other major pairs. Okay. So first off, you can see with Euro USD, right? So as you can see, we're in this bullish leg, and now we've come into this supply right here on the weekly, right? This equal high, right? Which broke market structure, grabbed liquidity, so it's a nice area to sell from. And since we got there, we've started to see the market slow down. Okay, so the market has been slowing down, and to put it plainly, we are in a range, right? We're in a range between this supply and this demand, this daily supply and this daily demand. So, and in a range, what do we want? We want to pull out our range tool, right? Let's pull out our range tool, and from our range tool, want to buy from the 25 and want to sell from the 75, right? From this supply, right? So want to sell from 75, want to buy from 25%, okay? And if we come here out, you can see, so we had here 25, 25, 25, you can see pushing the market up, and from 75, looking for sales. So on your USD, what do we have? Now we have here a liquidation of the high. So we've taken out this range high, and now we want to start looking for those sales. So for me personally, where's our fractal low? Our fractal low is all the way here, and our fractal high is right here. So I would like perhaps, so now I know, okay, we have early sellers coming in. Perhaps I would like one more swipe of this high, an attempt of this high, right? After that, one more swipe. So here becomes our fractal low. So on the break of this low, of this 1.170, then we can find an entry. So it's something, it looks something like this. Perhaps we get one more swipe up, and then this becomes our fractal low. Then perhaps we can break it, retest it, and then we find that entry to look for those shorts to the 25% level, okay, towards the end of the week. So that's what we're keeping our eye out for on Euro USD. Keep in mind it's a range play, so we want to sell from 0.75 and buy at 0.25. And if you can see, we left this, right, these lows are open, so which is possible for us to come and grab it, and then we can buy. Okay, now if we're looking at the dollar also has similar outlook, right? So if you remember, on the dollar, let's go to the monthly, to the higher time frame. On the dollar, you can see we have this channel. We're in this channel, this consolidative channel, right, on the monthly time frame, right? You can see, and on this channel we have our third touch, right? 1, 2, 3, right? So we're expecting that rebound off of this area. That's why we're looking for those bullish positions on the dollar, right? Honestly, it's just been moving sideways. The dollar has been in a range for the past how many weeks now? Talking about since July, right? So we've been in a range since July, August, and now we're in September. So let's see what happens. If you can see, let's delete this. You can just see, like, these are doji candles, and what they call this one, is it gravestone doji? No, I think that's the opposite. It's butterfly doji, right? I don't know, it has a name, but the point is, these are just pure indecision candles, bulls and bears just fighting, and no clear direction on the dollar yet, because of the indications of the US economy. Today it's good, tomorrow it's not good. So a lot of people are just sitting on the sidelines. A lot of investors are just sitting on the sidelines waiting to see what our Big Daddy T is going to do. So we're at the Big Daddy T's mercy. But if you're looking at this mechanically, right, we're in this range, right, from this high to this low, right, and now we came here, we swept these lows, so it's a possibility for us to come and sweep these highs, right, and then we'll start looking for that from, right, similar thing that I'm looking for on Euro USD, perhaps one more attempt to break this low, so we can have our fractal structure to be here, and so a break of that fractal high will now give us that buy opportunity to take out this descending highs right here, and this open area of liquidity also right here, perhaps to target like 99.14 or somewhere around 98.7, so let's see how that plays out. Okay, if we go to GBP USD, for GBP USD, right, so it's clear to see, so we had this V-shaped reversal up, and then once we made that V-shaped reversal up, we started to consolidate. We came into this channel pattern, and 1, 2, 3 touch. On the third touch, it caused the breakout of the pattern, and then once we broke out, we retest, then we sold, took out liquidity underneath here, right, leaving this equal lows, right, and then we came, took out the liquidity above, respected that, we sold, and now we're just coming back into that area which we've taken liquidity already. So let's see if from this high we can find lower prices, right, because now we're just trading in this range, right, we're trading from here to here, right, so this has been our range, right. We go on the lower time frame, it's clearer to see, so you can see we've just been moving sideways and sideways. So perhaps if we take out these highs, and then we can start to look for lower prices from, okay, so we swipe this equal highs, this supply level, pushing market lower, but I would like us to maybe one more attempt at the highs, then rejection, so this becomes our fractal low, and then from that break we can start selling. Similar thing I'm looking for on EU. Okay, so for AUD USD, right, so you can see, right, so we became swing bullish after this V-shaped reversal, and then we started to take out the highs and take out the highs and take out the highs. Now we started to do it consolidatively, right, so we're just in this pattern for a very long time. We broke out of the pattern, apparently now we're back inside, so we broke out of the pattern, right, and then here we had the imbalance, right, we had this imbalance which we're waiting for, okay, perhaps the market will sell from there, but it didn't, so it came into this area of supply which coincided with the quarterly open. It sold off from there, then we had this equal lows, we formed an equal low here, and then we just started to buy and buy and buy, respecting market structure, this demand, and now we're still pushing up again. So let's see if we want to break this and then keep on making higher prices, or we reject from here, and then once we just switch fractal structure, we start to look for those short positions. So if we're respecting this area of supply, then we can start looking for those short positions from there, right, from the break of this fractal structure, hopefully, like, so this is our fractal low here and our fractal high. So now we push down. If we push up to take out this high, this become our fractal low. So a break of this fractal low at 0.65464 will give us an indication to start to sell. Okay, but for now we just want to watch and see what happens, because we could just keep on making higher prices and higher prices and higher prices, and there would be no sales. So that's why we wait for that confirmation. Okay, similar story on NZD USD, right? So we're in a range, and then in a range, from that range you want to buy from the bottom, sell from the top, buy from 0.25, sell from 0.75, right? As we as I've been saying, as I always say, right? So you can see right here. So I want to sell from here and buy from here. Now we're here. So it's not a bad idea for you to start eyeing and looking for buys on this pair, especially after a break of this. So we have first trend line touch, second trend line touch, third trend line touch, and from here we know, okay, we have this supply level coinciding with this trend line. So people shorts, once it came into here, people started to go short. So now we're just taking out those short sellers, right? We're taking them out. So if we take them out and then we retrace this area into this area acting as demand, right? So that would be from the 0.25 level, and that would be a nice spot for us to look for a sell. Let me see where the quarterly open, and then we can perhaps target the 0.75, right, or the quarterly open. So let's see. NZD-US is looking for a buy, rather. I made a mistake. So from here, so breaking above this trend line, retracing and retesting this demand level, right? Because this is also this was a nice demand level. This took out liquidity and then pushed up. Now we're just retracing into here, right? Following the order flow, right? Now we're just retracing into this demand level, following the order flow, and now we're pushing up from here. So our next target would just be here, right? This demand level. Let's see if we push into it, and then we can push up from there. Okay. On gold, what can I say? Just we're looking for a retracement, right? Perhaps. So last week we had this retracement, this grab of liquidity, which pushed the market up higher. So now we're just waiting for a retracement into this. We have this demand level, this sell before those buy up. That's one area. We also have this area. Here's also another sell before the buy up. Okay. So these are areas in which we can look for long positions, right? Long positions, long positions, long positions. So let's wait. Let's see what it wants to give us on BTC. On BTC, right? So if we come in here, you can see, okay, swing wise, we're bullish, right? From here, from this high to this high, right? So these are swing low and these are swing high. So now we retraced into discount prices. Give me a second. Right, so anything below the 50%, that's discounts. Now we retrace into discount prices. So, and okay, so we know, okay, these are bullish markets. We retrace into discount prices. We have demand resting right here, liquidity resting above it, right, which was grabbed. And also we also had the quarterly open, which can also act as support and push the market up higher. So for us was just, okay, now all we just needed was that change of character, which we got last week, and that prompted us to go into BTC longs, so which we're still holding the position. So let's see what becomes of that position, right? Let's see what becomes of that position. But according to the order flow, you can say, okay, here we have this sell before this buy up. Next we have another sell right here before this buy up, acting and pushing the market up higher. So now we had this buy up. Now market is coming into here. So let's see if this order flow holds and keeps on pushing the market up higher. Okay, so let's look at some JPY pairs. So as I said earlier, we had gap up on JPY pairs because the Prime Minister of Japan resigned, which caused the morning gap down this morning, and then the bonds on Japan, on the Japanese, the 30-year bond also increased, also reduced rather, increased, also reduced rather, increasing the yield of investors. Okay, so on here, I mentioned, I think, or perhaps not. So once we get, once we see a chart, we want to identify where's the swing low, where's the swing high. So that swing low, our swing high rather, this was our swing low. Now we broke it right here, right from this V-shaped reversal. Once we broke it, and then we retraced, then we broke it again. So this becomes our swing low, this becomes our swing high. So it's not the clearest of chart, I must admit, but it's still trickling upward and ever so upward. So all we just want to look for at the moment is buys. And from here, you can see we had this yearly open, which is acting as resistance, right? Which is acting as resistance. So for me, I was keeping an eye out for that because I know, okay, sellers are coming in here from this yearly open to sell from there. So all I just needed to do was, okay, let me be patient, let me wait, because I know this is a counter trend. I can also look for that sell, but I would like for us to take out the earlier sellers, which seems to have happened here, and now we can come and start filling this gap and start making those lower prices and lower prices. But for me, this is our fractal low now, and this is our fractal high. So a break of this low will signify, okay, then we can start looking for those lower prices. But I would be cautious with the way I trade this. Okay, I will be cautious with the way I trade this, because at the end of the day, is always understanding, okay, what is the bigger trend saying, and what is the bigger picture, what is it saying. And for AUD/JPY, it's not the clearest at the moment, but we're in a bullish leg, so taking any shots would just be a bit risky. Okay, let's look at another JPY pair and then we call it a day. Okay, so we have to look at USD/JPY too. That's also essential. For Euro/JPY, right? So we're in this, so we're bullish, right? As you can see, we're bullish on the market, but we came into this area of supply. This supply is a nice supply because it took out liquidity before it sold off, and we had this bump in the road, this liquidity area, right? That's all it is. Like all of this liquidity area, any, like in this move down, any retracement, you know, liquidity is resting there, right? Liquidity is resting here. So now we took out that liquidity and we started to slow down. So you can see we're just slowing down. So if we break this area of supply and we start to look for higher prices, start to make higher prices rather, then we can follow it. But for now, we just want to wait and see the direction the market is taking, because now this is just looking consolidative to me, right? It's just looking consolidative to me. I wouldn't want to sell quickly because there's, okay, so we've had the swipe of this high, right? So we've had the swipe of this high, which can cause a retracement, right? Which can cause, so we had, okay, swipe of this high, then that can cause that bearish momentum to step in after liquidity has been swiped. So let's wait and see. Okay, once we start to break below this fractal structure at 172.667, then we can look for further shorts. If not, we just keep on going higher and higher to take out perhaps these lows and all of these ascending lows that we have here. Okay, so finally, USD/JPY. This was a range play from last week, right? Okay, so you can see from last week you could have found that short exactly. So this is something similar, right? So we came here, we swiped the highs. This was our fractal low, right? And this was our fractal high. Now what we just wanted was, okay, another swipe of this high. Now this becomes our fractal low. We broke it, we trace into this supply, look for our sell, and boom. So this was a missed trade for me last week, and you can just target the slows. Beautiful at its peak, 1 to 3, just beautiful 1 to 3 on Friday, right? That was a missed trade for us on Friday. So now we're just pardon. Now we have these areas of these highs, these descending highs that we're leaving behind. All right, so let's see what market wants to do. For now, I will just stay away because it has made its move. So from lower prices, I could look for, okay, maybe a buy from here and then to take it right up to maybe take out this liquidity. But let's wait and let's see it develop. Okay, so guys, have a wonderful day. That's my outlook for today. Wish you a successful trading week.